Well, remember this face? His case is hard to forget. Former Dallas spine surgeon Christopher Dunch sentenced to life in prison for causing the deaths of 2 patients. Well, tonight, serious allegations are being raised about another North Texas spine doctor. Former patients have filed lawsuits and complaints with the state, saying their lives have been ruined by a surgeon who puts profits over patient care. Investigative reporter Brett Shipp has more in this WFAA original.
These pictures of Stephen Pennington of Royce City depict a man in happier times. But sometimes pictures don't tell the whole story. Those smiles were masking his debilitating back pain. And on July 22nd of 2015, Pennington took that pain to his grave. The autopsy blamed sudden cardiac death, which occurred during surgery. Pennington's family, however, blames something else. An orthopedic surgeon once touted as Collin County's best orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Stephen Courtney. The family is suing Dr. Courtney for gross negligence and over his use of surgical implants made and distributed by Courtney's own company. Dr. Courtney is co-founder of Eminent Spine. The slogan on the website video, "Bad to the Bone." Eminent Spine manufactures and delivers surgical hardware such as the Copperhead, the King Cobra, the Diamondback, and the Python.
He uses the product every day on every patient.
And according to multiple lawsuits and complaints on file with the Texas Medical Board, it is those devices that are being improperly and unnecessarily implanted into patients' spines.
He never told you that he put a device called a Python in your back?
No.
Brian Taylor of Collinsville hurt his back in November of 2014. He was diagnosed with a herniated disc and was referred to Dr. Courtney, who, according to the lawsuit, wanted to operate using the Python. According to FDA guidelines, the patient should receive 6 months of non-operative treatment. Medical records show Taylor only received 2 months. FDA guidelines also say the Python should be fixed in place so it won't slip. Taylor's attorney, Kelly Libby.
Obviously, he didn't follow the standard of care, what the FDA clearance told him to do.
Libby showed us an x-ray of Taylor's back and of how the Python spacer allegedly shifted after surgery.
You can see the spacers are now tilted to the right, which indicates that the spacer is moving, migrating out of place.
Out of place, causing intense pain.
I knew something wasn't right, something was broken. I wanted something to happen.
According to Taylor's lawsuit a few weeks later, Courtney operated on Taylor's back again, reinstalling the Python again without fixing it in place. More slippage, more pain, and in June of 2015, more surgery.
Every time I had a surgery, he kept saying that this is what I need, and it's going to make it better. And I trusted him.
Alan Tarrant of Plano also trusted Dr. Courtney even after 3 failed surgeries involving Courtney implants, the Python and the Cottonmouth, which he says broke off in his spine, rendering him
The methadone 10 and Percocet 10.
in constant pain, unable to work or bend or sit for longer than a few minutes.
Does anybody give you any hope that this is going to change?
No.
This is your life.
Yep. 48 years old and I'm disabled. I've got nothing to look forward to. I keep going backwards, never getting any better.
News 8 has learned of multiple complaints filed against Courtney with the Texas Medical Board dating back to 2012. So far, none of the complaints has resulted in disciplinary action. But records obtained by News 8 indicate Dr. Courtney is currently under investigation by the board. We showed our records to State Representative Bill Zedler of Arlington, a frequent critic of the State Medical Board. Zedler says the board has a history of waiting too long to act on complaints.
I believe there's sufficient evidence that tells me that the newly appointed members of the board need to be aware of what is going on here.
We made numerous attempts to contact Dr. Courtney. He did not respond. In legal filings, his attorneys deny all of the allegations of negligence and malpractice. As for his alleged practice of profiting from the use of his own devices on his patients, in 2013, the U.S. Senate issued a report critical of this kind of practice, where surgeons implant their own devices in what's known as physician-owned distributorships. According to that report, PODs present an inherent conflict of interest that can put the physician's medical judgment at odds with the patient's best interests.
And the standard of care, which our experts will testify to, is to not allow, a hospital cannot allow a doctor to use their own hardware in patients.
At least 4 patients suing Dr. Courtney had his devices implanted at Baylor Medical Center in Frisco. Baylor Frisco now prohibits surgeons from using their own implants on patients. Dr. Courtney has now opened his own hospital called Eminent Medical Center in Richardson. And finally, the Texas Medical Board has declined to comment on their investigation into the Courtney complaints, but our investigation continues. Brett Shipp, Channel 8 News.